The memorial is breathtaking. In my mind, the memorial represents freedom for the world. To this day, all of the Pacific is free, all of Europe is free, and thank God America is free.
Honor Flight provides, at no cost to the veteran, the opportunity to see the memorial that the American people have built on our National Mall. And I think that there's probably no better organization out there today that can provide something to somebody for nothing.
If anyone wants to see the importance of Honor Flight, look into the veterans' eyes and how they tear up when they are brought here.
You guys ready to go?
Yeah, ready to go.
We'd like to thank each and every one of you. It's truly a privilege to serve you today.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
When they walk into that memorial and they see that their friends will never be forgotten, that the sacrifice that they paid will always be cherished, always revered, always honored by this nation, they're taken back by that. For the World War II veterans, this is their last hurrah. They don't have reunions anymore. Most of their comrades in arms have all passed away. Quite often, they are the sole survivors of that tank crew or that ship or that air crew. Bringing them into their memorial, they come there representing all of their friends.
Just have to remember where so many comrades are laying out there yet. Just one of these things, you know, before I die, I wanted to see it. Now I can go home, and if I croak, so what? I did it.
I'm just sorry my wife couldn't be here. She died about 6 months ago.
It's the best program I've ever been associated with. You know, we're all in the same fraternity. If it hadn't been for these guys, I don't know where we'd be today or what language we'd speak.
I say about the terrorist Al-Qaeda, if it weren't for these guys, we wouldn't have to worry about terrorists today. We'd already be occupied. We'd already be a different country. So we owe them a lot.
There are families that we will call up and say, we have a seat available for your dad, only to be told that Dad did not survive the winter. We're racing against a clock. In another 5 to 7 years, it'll be a moot point. They will be gone. We're working as fast as we can, but we need so much support from so many people to make these dreams a reality. This is probably the last chapter in their lives, and for some, it's literally the last paragraph of their lives. What a way to end their stories.
This has been one of the really great days of my life.
I'm sure glad I was able to live long enough to see it. Just a bunch of kids. But man, were we patriotic.
They fought in World War II, returned home to Iowa, and really rarely talked about their experiences for the next 65 years. But tonight, 350 of those veterans can't stop talking.
They just got back from a cross-country thank you trip. And News Channel 8's Eric Hansen was on board the honor flight as Iowa's war heroes walked into the memorial for the first time.
It was a really cool experience, Stacey. Most 80 or 90-year-olds wouldn't consider taking a 22-hour road trip in one day, but 1,300 Iowans have signed up for this one. The first 350 from central Iowa went yesterday, leaving behind plenty of tears and rekindling plenty of old memories.
When you're 5 or 6, early morning bus rides are no big deal.
This isn't the morning to be late, is it?
No.
Add 80 or 90 years to the equation.
Okay, I'm on. All right. McAdoo.
Smiles start brewing long before the coffee.
We're going to help you get on the bus, okay?
But the moment this day really sank in was when thousands of strangers showed up at the bus stop underneath a chartered 747.
Have a great day, okay?
Looks like a good start.
I didn't think I'd see the day.
Watching weathered hands scale a jumbo jet staircase gives you a glimpse of their determination.
Honor to have you on board, sir.
Thank you.
But once all 351 veterans touched down in Washington, it's easy to see why hardened heroes suddenly got goosebumps.
Welcome.
Thank you for your service.
Welcome to Washington, sir. Thank you.
It's hard to express in people's language that will understand.
Look at that. Isn't that cool?
By the time all 11 chartered buses pulled up to their final destination, these grandpas were tempted to play piggyback with their sons and granddaughters who met them there.
Because they're family, Eric. And it's great.
And we're proud of them.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Jack, thank you for your service. Welcome to your memorial.
Suddenly, 351 war heroes were surrounded by a stone tribute to their sacrifice.
This is outstanding.
I'm just an old stick farmer, has been. And I just can't believe ever seeing this in the first place.
And it's just like a renewal of my spirits to see this. I mean, it's just like it's inspired.
The memorial to battles on land and sea flowed with gold shirts and gray hair.
The European theaters over here.
Rekindling painful memories.
I just know that God spared my life. I got a snake bite and I was in a coma for 3 weeks. And when I come back to the company, I was a sergeant of the company. Half of them are gone. I could have been that half.
And remembering brothers closer than brothers.
You know, they give their life. What else can you do?
I lost friends. I had a sister who passed away with cancer 17 years ago and a younger brother passed away about 12 years ago with cancer. But I was closer to some of my friends in the Marine Corps than to my own sister and brother.
Millions visit this place.
They don't understand. Freedom is not free. You have to sacrifice for it.
Veterans feel it.
We did it because we wanted our freedom. And I think that's really what it's all about.
But bring this many.
100 years old right here.
And the veteran behind it will check out of the hospital and show up in person.
We've had up into 70,000 visits so far. It's the greatest program I've ever been involved in with veterans.
In one afternoon, Iowa's aging heroes posed like celebrities.
Okay, let's have a picture with her. Okay.
Watch the guards change at Arlington and trace names from Vietnam's wall. Then it would hit again.
So when you walk up and when you see this,
tell
me about that.
You see, Iwo Jima isn't just a statue.
I witnessed this.
It's a battle Lyle Colligan lived.
It is very special. Very special.
A fight Paul Lawrence fought.
You have no idea. You have no idea. I'm sorry if I sound sad, but it gets to me.
And an island where Les Mathery raised a small flag hours before this second one was captured on film.
We knew the job wasn't over, but the island was ours. We'll put it that way.
Not a story, not a tear, not a minute of this day would have happened if IV didn't step forward and donate $250,000 for this exhausting, emotional experience.
That is impressive. I mean, I can't, we're going to shop at Hy-Vee forever.
But if anyone believes these veterans didn't pay for this 65 years ago, they are sorely mistaken.
We're just a bunch of kids, but man, were we patriotic.
Albert, watch your step right here, okay?
Just a wonderful day. I enjoyed it so immensely, I'll tell you.
And I will never forget it.
You're watching News 3 HD at 10.
Now, the numbers are amazing. More than 330,000 residents from Wisconsin served their country during World War II. Sadly, those who can actually share the stories from that time are quickly dying. Just more than 45,000 are still alive tonight. And those specific veterans are dying at a rate of 900 every day.
Yeah, there's a memorial in Washington, D.C. honoring those World War II veterans, and now a national movement to take them there. News 3's Angela Bettis joins us now with their story. Angela.
Well, here's what we learned. Before dawn broke on Saturday, 100 veterans and 64 volunteer guardians boarded a plane to Washington, D.C. The man that you are about to meet tonight, Edwin Neitzel, had not been on a plane since returning from the war. The trip was a gift from his daughter.
He served 3 years during World War II, manned a machine gun, walked through the bombed ruins in Okinawa, and lost countless friends.
This was when we came off.
And on Saturday, Edwin Neitzel was given the thanks he truly deserves.
The whole day was so memorable. And my dad and I have never had a trip together. So this was our trip. And I would say that was the best part of the whole day, is sharing this with Dad.
The most important part of the day started at the World War II Memorial with a warm welcome from Bob and Elizabeth Dole.
Here's the one of the two of us with Bob Dole and Elizabeth Dole. It was overwhelming because it was so big, wasn't it? Was it bigger than you thought it would be?
Oh, yeah.
It was humongous.
There were lots of pictures and a bus tour around the city.
The memorial was intended to be a symbol of national...
All over, every place we went.
Right.
Every place we went, they were shaking your hand and thanking you for your service. Every place we went. There was a man on a stool by the statue at Iwo Jima, all by himself, on the backside, with nobody around him. He obviously had a lot of deep thoughts. That picture just said 1,000 words.
Marvin, what was the best part of the day?
All of it.
The best part? Oh, I don't really know. Too many of them.
For many veterans like Edwin, Saturday's visit to the memorials brought back 60 years of memories, many of which have never been discussed.
Go, Edwin.
A happy memory for all, something all the soldiers look forward to. Mail call.
Dear Grandpa, thank you for being so brave. Thank you for serving our country. Thank you for being the best grandpa ever.
Dear Don, we are so happy for you that you got to go on the honor flight.
And a hero's welcome back in Wisconsin.
Thank you.
The type of welcome these heroes never received.
I want you to know how proud I am of the sacrifices you made, the time you gave to defend our country, and the freedom you fought so hard for, that we are so lucky to have today. I am proud to call you my father. Love, your daughter, Dawn.
Love you.
That was an amazing day for that family. The honor flight is completely free for World War II veterans. Panera does help underwrite much of the cost. Those flights can cost anywhere between $50,000 to $150,000. The Guardians also pay $500. So Dawn did pay to go on that flight with her father. That helps pay for the next flight of veterans to go out.
You can see how much that means just
Amazing.
watching that.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've talked about that there is a really long waiting list.
Yeah, there absolutely is a waiting list. In fact, Dawn had Edwin's, her father's name, on that list for 2 years before being able to get on this flight. There are currently 2 honor flight organizations that are operating in Wisconsin, but the list is still more than 600 names long. So it is a long list, and it may take years to get through that.
My philosophy is I'm not afraid of death. Death doesn't scare me. What scares hell out of me is how I gotta live.
Once you've been in combat with people, you have a affinity for life with those people. It never goes away.
One day we sent out 34 planes, only 5 of them returned. There were 5 men on each plane. And that's why I haven't talked about it. This is the first time I've ever talked about it.
There's only a few of them left, but the ones that are alive, I have a very strong bond with them.
Back in January of 2010, when we announced that we were going to launch Operation Resolve, that we were going to try to get as many World War II veterans as possible to visit their memorial in Washington, D.C.
We fly World War II veterans to see their memorial at no cost to them.
It was like I won the lottery.
And there was a real sense of urgency about that because the clock was running. This community came together in one of the most extraordinary things that I have ever been part of, whether it was church groups or civics groups or veterans groups, kids groups, schools, raise the money to get as many World War II veterans as possible to visit their memorial in Washington, D.C.
I feel like a king.